Here we go. All right, welcome, folks. My name is Michael Huggins. I'm coming to you live from Tennessee, and this is our Zoom Up. It's our meetup on Zoom. The whole idea behind this is to introduce you to our real estate investing community and group of entrepreneurs who are out there crushing it in the world, making things happen for them and their families in a big way. I'm joined today by my co-host, Scott Rowe. What's up?
Here for 37 more times.
Yeah, man, we're going for 100 episodes to show you what's possible if you decide to link arms with us. Now, when I first got started, I was turning wrenches, changing oil. I was working 65 hours a week. I absolutely hated it. I was broke as a joke and riding a bike to these jobs. Fast forward, I get into this program. I start learning about short sales. I made more money on my first deal, $21,000 profit after everything was paid back. That was enough money for me to quit my job. A month later, I did another deal and quit my second job. A month after that, I did a third deal, started paying debts back. It felt amazing. Now I'm working on one of the biggest land deals I've ever got the opportunity to, and actually even more advanced that today. And I love this community. I love what's possible here. And so we're going to introduce a student who's been embracing this process and show you his story of transformation. Scott, tell folks a little bit about you and then what to expect after this.
Yep, I actually was an executive making $212,000 a year. The company went digital, so they didn't need humans anymore, and dumped my wife and I, who worked in the same division. We're done, and we subsequently lost our ability to pay for our place downtown and in South Beach, and we were in trouble. My wife dragged me down to a meeting on this group. I went kicking and screaming because I didn't want to go, but she got me down to the second meeting with this group. I met some impressive people. And I was 2 days later, we were involved, and they have not let me down. They've been every single week. My wife and I were able to, in our first year, put up this commercial space back in 2007. We still have it today. It's helped thousands of people do real estate. We are actually part of the #1 team in the country the last 10 years. And we've helped over 15,000 people start their careers. It's been great. I've done short sales. I've done wholesales, started wholesaling, did my first rehab on my 6th deal, did short sale deals, was involved in a 79 property purchase for $1.5 million, which was awesome. But yeah, it's been great. And now we just love spreading the love with guys like you and Tim. And make sure, you didn't say this, so I'll say it. Make sure that real estate, you're hearing about success. Oh, look at this Jiffy Lube guy. He's on a 265 acres. Look at this guy with the commercial space and all the success. It does have risk. And that's one of the reasons we run this Zoom Up, to make sure that you can hear stories, but understand from the people you're hearing from that they did the right things to get to that point, right? They hung out with the right people. They knew what they were doing. If they didn't know what they were doing, they were seeking professionals to do it. They were dotting the I's, crossing the T's, because real estate does have risk. So you should make sure that you're prepped for that.
Exactly. And then after this, get back with the person that invited you here, because there's a whole playlist of episodes that can inspire you, as well as moving forward. We have an intro workshop you need to come to. It's the function behind what we do. Then we have house tours, property tours, so you can see more real deals in action. And then workshops, so you can get a taste of who our instructor curriculum, what it looks like, how you can embrace this. In fact, for those of you who are attending live or catching the recording this week, we have one this Saturday. It's going to be on private hard money. Too many people make this excuse that, well, I know how to do real estate, I just don't know how to find the money. Well, come on. That's one and the same, right? If you don't know that, then you really don't know how to do the real estate deals. So let us show you how we've been able to access millions and millions of dollars through private and hard money, and do it smartly. Too many people I see aren't educated. The private money or the hard money person makes more than the investor because they don't know what they're doing. So come to the class, learn how to access the capital so you can get out there and start doing some deals.
All right.
And when you ask for the recordings, don't ask for Candace Adams' recordings. Her video, you don't want to see it. It's not worth your time.
Dude, isn't that my shtick? Dude, you got to pick somebody else. Do not ask for Candace Adams. Don't ask for that recording.
Yeah, awesome. All right, cool. So let's transition out into our guest. He's got an amazing transformation story, where he came from and where he's going now. I met him about 7 years ago, and I remember we were celebrating his very first deal. Now, he was struggling. He was doing his best. Went to school, went to college, did the thing, searched for jobs. Nothing was working for him. So I'm going to let him share his story. But what he's done this year has been impressive, and how he's launching into next year, amazing stuff. He's been a big contributor to our community and helping other people achieve success. And so everyone, give a big warm welcome to Mr. Tim Vreeland.
Tim Vreeland, everybody.
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
You
Welcome.
sound like an airplane pilot, but that's okay.
I do. Well, that's okay. Well, I'd rather that than you hear my crying kids and yelling kids in the background.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Working
So-
from home. Woo, gotta love it.
Yeah, buddy. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about you, where you came from, and then why did you decide to get into real estate and link arms with us?
Yeah, that is a good question, and I will try to be as succinct as possible because I've got a lot, but we only got a so short amount of time. So for me, growing up, I went to college. I did the college thing, but I was smart about it because I didn't want to go to whatever college because that's what I wanted to go. I wanted to learn. First, I wanted to know what I wanted to do, so I went to like a community college nearby, so I can get a little bit of so I can kind of see where my interests are. And then I realized it's business, and so I just started taking a bunch of business classes. Then I went, and then I found the school that I wanted to go to, to get my bachelor's degree. And so I went over there. Went to BYU Hawaii, beautiful place over there. They had international business management. Love it. I learned quite a bit there, but the knowledge that I learned, I mean, it didn't really help me in the real world. I don't know if anybody really has that. I'm sure other people have that experience too, who's listening to me, is that you go to college and you got some debt. But I know that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to be a boss for myself during that time. But I still want to make sure that I get a job and that I kind of learn from other stuff. Yeah, be a boss. And but when I graduated, there was a hiring freeze, like internationally. I was living in Japan at the time too. After I graduated, nobody was hiring. Couldn't find a job. I ended up having to get well. Let me fast forward from there, because when it comes to real estate, real estate wasn't really in the picture at that time. But I did read a book during that time, and when I was sitting there, rented a book from the library, sitting on the couch, just like couldn't find a job. What should I do? Let's read a book. So I read a book. I'm sure you guys have read it too, Rich Dad Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah. Opened my mind in terms of saying, oh my gosh, like what he talked about this little principle called a wholesale, where he found a property, put it under contract, sold to somebody else, and made at least 20 grand, and like within 30 days. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool. So it just kind of planted the seed. It didn't really say it, let me go and look at it. I just planted the seed of like, that's pretty cool. So when I came back to the US, still hiring freeze, and I could only find a $9 an hour job. Oh, can you guys still see me?
Yeah.
So so I wanted to get into try to build this international business type of thing, supply chain management, whatever. I could only get a job doing $9 an hour for a temp position at the Hope, which they ended up hiring me and ended up making more, but still $9 an hour. And when I was in that position, I still purchased a house, and a family member invited me over to see one of these like an intro meeting from this real estate group. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Because all the questions that I learned was, how do you buy real estate without your own money? And creatively too. You hear these things, people saying, hey, how do you buy real estate creatively? There's so many ways to do it. I didn't know how. That started my search into different real estate groups, different RIAs, like real estate investor associations, even guru events. I don't like spending money until I know this is the path that I want to go. And so when I looked into this group, Renatus, I realized that everything that I was looking for was here. I spent 2 years looking to get into real estate. And once I finally joined this group, in 3 months, I found my first deal. And then 4 months later, I found my second deal. My third deal was was a subject to, which is subject to rental property. And then I also was able to rent out my other house. I was basically making two incomes. My wife didn't have to go to work during that time, and so she was able to be home almost the whole time. And we felt like that was important, because I grew up with a house without where my mom and my dad both worked. And so whenever I'd come home, nobody was there. And we fed ourselves, basically. It's like our siblings were raising each other, basically, because my two parents were away, and I didn't want my children to go through that same thing. So if my wife was making a lot of money, I'd have her go to work and I'd stay home. it's and so, but we discussed it. She was able, she wanted to be home, and so she was fine with that. And so I'm really happy to have that. And then fast forward, I did join Renas about 7 years ago, but so $9 an hour job doing these real estate deals, and I was working slowly and surely. This is not a race. It's not get rich quick. It's do things the right way with the right people and put the right knowledge in your mind and make it happen. And so 7 years later, I was able to clear almost $500,000 in real estate income. That's fix and flips, that's my rentals, and that's also appreciation in the market, and maybe some money lending at the time. And so that made me finally that good year. I was able to reach all the goals that I wanted to, so that I could say, okay, job, it's time to let you go. And so it's time to spread the wings, cut the umbilical cord. Because part of being an entrepreneur, or going from a W-2 job to an entrepreneur, is all those fun little things that you hold on to, like all those fun little things that keep you there, like those little carrots that the companies give, like your 401k, these little things that make you, and also insurance and stuff that make you feel like that you need to be there. But I answered all those questions. I felt okay. Now it's time for me to take care of my family with this job. And lastly, too, there's a deal that I'm working on that I have under contract right now, so that when we close in 3 weeks, the income that's going to be, or the net profit from this fix and flip alone, is going to equal as much pay as my last job had before, which was about, like, in the full year. That's including overtime and also like quarterly bonuses. I ended up getting a different job where I was getting paid better, because I thought, you know what, if I'm going to do real estate, might as well get a job that kind of pays, it makes me talk to people, kind of gets me stuff. So I worked at a phone center in a financial institution, and so I learned a lot of stuff, but it was time to move on. And yeah, so that, and by the way, the amount of time that I worked on this fix and flip, I don't swing hammers, I just direct people where to go. And I probably put in about 40 hours into this deal. Nice. And so for a full year of income, for more than 40 hours a week, let's just, sometimes 45 to 50 hours a week, some weeks, or 60 sometimes. I'm sure some people here work more than that. Yeah. But all that together, combined, this one deal will match it.
And so over what time period did that 40 hours get invested?
About 6 months.
So just like an hour a week, 2 hours a week, you would check on the property and just make sure things were progressing.
Exactly. And yeah, and this one actually took more time than the other ones, because I'm doing a different color scheme than the other ones. I was doing kind of like the older ones where it's more like beige and grays and whites, but now it's whites and black with a little gray in it and stuff. So I wanted to make sure I had the right everything like that. So I spent more time than I usually do. Usually I just tell my guys, hey, get to work, and they go and get to work. They know what to get.
Okay. So how many deals have you accomplished now?
Not that many, over 40.
Okay. Not that many.
Well, I mean, you hear people saying, oh, I do 40 in a year. I do, and stuff like that. So for me, I feel like that's low, but it works for my lifestyle, and it works for my family. And I have the balance that I want to be with my kids, take a break if I want to, and things like that.
Right. You do lots of vacationing. And I know you got some stuff planned, and so you're very family oriented. And so I guess that was, some extreme motivation to make sure that these kids are taken care of. How many kids do you have now?
5.
Okay.
5 kids.
So, and do you get them involved in your deals? How do those conversations go? Where they're like, why do you stay at home, Dad? Why don't you go to work? Does that ever come up?
Well, they ask me like, hey, what do you do? And I say, hey, this is what I do. And I bring them in, and I pull up my computer, and I say, see that house? Let's go and take a look and see if it works, so that we can fix it up and make some money. And I also do bring them to houses, like instead of paying the one that we just listed in downtown Salt Lake City, we instead of paying somebody a few $100 to fix to clean it, me and my partner got all our families and like our kids together, and we cleaned it together. Did it take a little longer? Sure. But it was a great experience for the kids. We also went out and paid them through feeding them dinner
Nice.
at a place. And yeah, it was a great experience to show the kids.
Way cool. And when you first told your wife, hey, I want to get into this real estate thing, I know we're broke, but I want to do it, was she supportive? Was she hesitant? Was that a hard conversation? Easy? How did that go?
Well, yeah, it was actually, I mean, I feel like I count myself lucky because she was like, yeah, if that's what you feel, go ahead. I mean, you know, I told her about the group, and I told her about, you know what, this is going to take some commitment to get into this through this real estate group. But I really feel strongly about this one. I've looked at so many things. This has been the best that I've seen that has everything that I feel like I need to be able to succeed. And she was like, yeah, go ahead.
Nice. So how long were you looking for something before you found us?
Over 3. I mean, I've always been looking all my life, you know,
Okay.
for an entrepreneurial. But in terms of like when the real estate bug entered, you know, came in, it was at least 3 years that I was searching and asking people questions and kind of going around. But what really got me into action was, well, first of all, it was my commitment. I didn't want my investment to go to waste when I joined this group. And so it's like, that was a strong thing, like, okay, time to go. But also being surrounded by all the people that are already doing what I want to do, and then getting their help, having, you know, hand holding and partnering and things like that. And also in a group where we're extremely ethical, and nobody's there to rip you off and stuff, which is something that I'm sure a lot of people here. I was really scared. That kind of freaked me out. How do I know if I'm filling out the thing right? Or filling out the a contract right? Is there something that's gonna something's gonna take me to court to, or something like that? So I'm like, you know, a lot of things are like, I don't know what I don't know, and I don't want to get in trouble because of my ignorance.
So if I understand correctly, 3 years you were like, I want to do it, but I don't know how. I want to do it, but I don't know how. You found us, and then how long until your first deal?
3 months.
3 months. That's how long it took me to do mine.
Nice.
That's pretty. That seems typical, but it's not typical. I mean, some people are quicker, some people are longer. Just for me, I worked really hard at it. I took the classes and I was listening to it. And all I did was copy, guys. All I did was copy. I didn't reinvent any wheel. All I did was, like, they say, do this, and I said, okay, I do it. And, you know, and I consistently do it. And every time I learn a piece of new information, and boop, I incorporate it. And because it's not just about doing real estate, it's about creating your lifestyle. It's about getting your taxes ready, about setting your banking strategies up so you can it's about keeping the money that you're making more than and also becoming the real estate investor up here, and not necessarily doing the real estate deal over there. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Definitely.
that's like, I totally had a paradigm shift when I joined when I came in here.
Nice.
Great.
Cool. You got any other questions, Scott?
I don't.
That's it. That's a clean story, Tim.
We all know he's a legend, dude. He's a legend in Salt Lake with this group. So Tim Vreeland. You say Tim Vreeland, they step back and they go, you know Tim Vreeland. So
I'm just
I
a
do.
mojo. I'm just a little mojo, just walking around showing up and stuff. I just show up.
Yeah, man. Well, we love your attitude. We love your contribution to helping other people get into their deals. I know you've helped a lot of people do their first deal now, and you've just been a great influence. So stick around. We got 2 bonus questions after the recording for our live audience. And so, folks, after this, if you're catching the recording, go request the playlist so you can see the other stories. We got all kinds of backgrounds, age, occupation, every kind of thing, so that you can see, hey, it's not just a couple guys that are making it work. Everybody that embraces the system and stays coachable, like Tim said, he just took the class and went and did it, and is kind of paint by numbers. Then you're going to want to come to some live briefing, intro, follow-up, house tour, workshop, and then have your strategy session. Get back with the person.
Results mingle.
Oh yeah, you want to hear it even more. We got a big party going on about how people are producing all kinds of results, and everyone's in different stages, right?
I don't want to muddy it up though. But here's the 3 things you should ask her first. A property tour will help you understand that's actually a deal being done by a student. An introduction, it'll actually lay out the function of what we do. Yep. Or a workshop where you actually get to meet an instructor, to learn from an instructor, hang out with the community a little bit. Those are the 3 things you should see first.
Yeah. So stay connected with us, face your fear, chase your dreams, and we got your back.
One last thing. We're going to have 2 bonus questions. So if you're watching this recording, you might want to get on one of our live sessions, because the only time you hear the bonus questions is on a live one. We do these at noon Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Central Time every day, Monday through Friday now.
Yep.
I'm only on until Thursday because I'm, my religion won't let me work on Fridays.
Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, Catch Live, you guys have been awesome. Thanks for being a great audience. Tim, thank you so much for your time and contributions today.
Stick around for bonus.
All right, everyone. Have a great day.